time for the 49ers Rush podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? I cannot tell you how happy I am to be with you guys virtually today. And none more important than the man himself, Wayne Breezy. How we doing, Wayne?
I'm hot. Yeah, it's hot over here, dog. It's a different type of heat. I keep telling the West Coast family out there that, the East Coast heat in the summertime is different because you got to add the humidity, but They feel it's hotter out there. I encourage you to take a trip to the East Coast in July.
I love the East Coast. I would prefer to go there in the summertime than the wintertime. I can't handle y'all's winters, man. That's a whole nother.
It's a great point.
That's scary stuff, man. What's up, Scott?
What's going on,
love all
Scott?
the hashtag CCs and PPs we got going on here. Now, this is the first live show for me in the new mothership. The move has completed, even though we're very far from being completed. So I'm still working on some things on the setup here. The office I'm in has awesome track lighting, which is incredible, but I look like a ghost with it on. So I got some stuff to work on here, but I'm excited about this show. This is episode 890. 890. We are going to be going through the NFC West. We're continuing our entire trek through ranking all these different subgroups. And today's a little bit of an important position, the quarterbacks. So we wanted to give it the proper attention. Wayne said we need a whole episode just to talk quarterbacks. So we're NFC West, diving into quarterbacks. We're going to rank them 1 through 4, go through the rooms, all that kind of stuff. Wayne, what were your thoughts as you started going through these depth charts? It's a weird division for quarterbacks.
I don't know about you, but to me, it seems damn even. Like, it just seems even. Like, and I get that we are enamored by Brock Purdy, who is highly efficient. You know who was more efficient than Brock Purdy last year? Geno Smith.
It's so right. Like, I went through it. I did the same thing. I was like, all right, because I ranked each quarterback 1 through, I think, 15 or something, whatever. And I was like, man, how do I do these rankings? And I just I don't care about, long-term, just 2023, right? Mm-hmm. And I got stuck on Geno and Brock. Where do I put where? And so I dove into, okay, Geno was an MVP candidate and all that stuff through those first 8-9 weeks. So I tried to do a kind of cost analysis and, whatever. How was Geno his best 8 games versus Brock's only 8 games? We'll dive into that a little bit later.
That's going to be fun.
But you talked about it. Efficiency. Yeah, Geno, good Lord. What was his numbers?
I don't know.
69% completion percentage. That's pretty nice. Nice.
And then you wonder why they gave him the contract, the extension or whatnot, or they signed him in free agency. I can't remember which one it was, but either way, they brought him back, which was smart by them. They have something that they're building off of. They have a quarterback that they trust that can kind of help them consistently win. And so with that, that's how you do it. It's so, to me, to answer your question, just going through the quarterbacks room, the starting quarterbacks, not the whole rooms, but the starting quarterbacks, and we're going to get into the rooms today. It just seems fairly even because if Matthew Stafford is healthy, is he the best quarterback in the division? And then if Kyler Murray's healthy, is he the best quarterback in the division? So I know we can go off of how they played last year, but that was due to injury. And you can say Brock Purdy probably finished the best out of all the quarterbacks. He went the furthest out of all the quarterbacks, so he finished the best. But Geno Smith had a pretty efficient year. Matthew Stafford, he was hurt, but the year before, he was playing really well. And Kyler Murray's always danger on the field. He's like a little danger mouse.
Danger mouse. I like that. Look at this. What's up, Brandon? He says, taking a 30-minute bathroom break to watch live. My name's John. I condone this message. I'm just saying. I freaking love it, man.
That was dope, Brandon.
Things too.
And then he has the lightsaber holding it like he's holding his.
Yeah. That's awesome. Look at Ty. Ty's always good for a laugh.
I love
man.
Ty,
He cracks me
man.
up. He says, Wade showing the guns while John is covered up like it's winter. Okay, I'm from Texas. I have lived in Pasadena, California for 7 years, which is the desert. We're now in El Cerrito, like the hills part. It's cold up here, man.
That's weird.
Cold.
It's just weird that it's cold in Cali. Like, but then again, like, I don't know what your cold is. Because I only experience cold from November-ish to March.
It's like 50 degrees up here, man.
See, that's not cold to me. That's a spring day, baby.
Anyway, but yeah, we got different looks. Wade always repping those guns. You looking sharp, brother. I love it.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. The weight is down. The body fat percentage is down. It's a process. I realized today it's a process, and I'm not trying to lose it drastically. I'm trying to lose it right. You know what I'm saying? So that way it never comes back. So I'm doing good. Feeling good.
Dude, like it. Yeah, no, he says, what's up, John? Long time seeing a live show. Hope everything's fine. Yeah, we were just moving. So, and it was a mess. And I want to say thank you. So many people reached out to like help. And I was like, no, man, we paid for movers. My wife's job. They took care of us. The problem was we get in town. The movers canceled last minute.
No way.
They canceled. They just canceled and gave us back the money, which was nice. But it wasn't even my money. It was their jobs. So I unloaded the truck. I had to unload the truck. And so we're a little behind schedule, but that's okay. We are happy. We are healthy. We are here, and we're ready to talk some football. So we got a couple questions before we jump into quarterback talk.
Let's do it, baby.
The first one deals with the great Drake Jackson. This comes from Anthony G, the email. A little bit of a longer question, but I thought he worded it well. Anthony says, I feel like the more I listen to people talk about Drake Jackson, the more it sounds like a complete unknown. I'd be interested to hear your and Wayne thoughts on why someone who performed so well, we talked about it all year. I mean, he played well, but why, once he hit the rookie wall or whatever, but, you've got the added weight, you've got the excitement, you've got the belief in the 49ers trusting them. They didn't sign an edge. They didn't really draft a high-end edge. What are your thoughts? Is he an unknown moving into 2023, his sophomore year?
I mean, I think that's a fair assessment, right? He hasn't played much. And I wouldn't mind using that term for the guys that haven't played much. Now, I will say this, he does show promise, right? And so for me, rookie season, Drake Jackson, he was utilized a certain way, and obviously he hit the rookie wall. But I still thought he could have been utilized. I don't think it was a complete shutdown for him. I think it was to where the coaches decided to kind of like put him on ice for the remainder of the season. Now, I know he's coming in heavier. I'm sure he's coming in stronger. But let me explain to you guys this one thing. Shout out to Uncle Scott, who's been a member of the Breezy's Bunch Club for over 7 months. Wow. Let me explain to you this one thing. He has not lost the bend. He has not lost his bend or the bend, whatever you want to say. And that's most important because that's what makes him the freakish athlete, right? You can't teach bend. It's like an innate thing that you're born with. It's a mutative ability. He's an X-Men. And so, like, the fact that he hasn't lost that is important. Why? Because he can still get down, get low, get around. He has that bend. Now, has he learned some other moves? That's the unknown. Is he going to be able to utilize his strength? That's the unknown. Like, those are the things that we just don't know because we didn't get to see, over 300 snaps, I believe?
315 to be exact.
Yeah. I should have said under 400. But, yeah, that's what I mean. So, like, at the end of the day, like, I can understand the frustration, but he wasn't drafted that high for, like, without a purpose. Like, they're going to figure out how to utilize him. And I think personally for me, year 2 for Drake Jackson, and we usually see good year 2s from our players. It's weird because usually the sophomore slump steps in, not for Drake. And I think that's why they slowed that process down toward the end. He's going to come in with a crazy mindset, crazy burst of energy. And if that kid can stay healthy, oh my gosh, sky's the limit. And are we getting double-digit sacks? I mean, hold the horses on that. I don't think you need double-digit sacks. I think you want pressures and containment from Drake Jackson.
If we look at just his rookie year in summary, 315 snaps. He had 16 pressures, 4 sacks. This is PFS model, not so like if you get a half sack on PFF, that counts as a sack. He had 3 quarterback hits, 9 hurries, 5 batted passes. That's huge.
That's huge. Those are the things that you're not really accounted for in a game. You want to know how the Chiefs won the Super Bowl? Look at batted passes from Chris Jones.
Yep. He had 8 solo run stops and an interception. And it was interesting because he got that interception in the Vegas game, right? New Year's, we were there. They shut him down right after that. And
right.
A lot of that was a big reason why, like, if you go back to that Raiders game and Jared Stidham, the way he was able to break the pocket and stuff, they were like, no. We gotta change some things with Drake. Now, I want to go to the big man, Trent Williams, silverback.
Okay.
I played this clip before, but I think it's awesome. Whenever they asked about Drake Jackson, this is a quick 40-second clip of just Trent talking about all that he's done so far in the offseason.
I mean, you look at the athleticism he has, the natural strength. I mean, to me, he looked like an all-pro. He looked like he has the stature to be an all-pro player. He looked like he has the want to. He's very studious. He's a student of the game. He's always asking questions, eager to learn. And to see that he actually took that and then, went and ate some weights this offseason and bulked up a little bit, I think it's only going to make him one of those playmakers that we need, on the other side of Nick, keep everything even. He has that talent, and I'm looking forward to seeing some big things from him.
Ate some weights, baby. Ate some weights. Wayne did the opposite, man. You freaking, you got rid of some weights, which is awesome. But you looking sharp, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Yeah. Look, when you get some type of praise, that's what I call that. Some type of constructive criticism from the GOAT that's playing football. I feel like Trent Williams is the best football player in the NFL. So when you getting that type of stuff coming from him, to me, it goes a long way. It does not the end all be all for Drake. I mean, he needs to take that and use that as fuel and continue to push to progress to get better and better and better. And I think, that's what he has. I think he has that gift. His father, his pops was a great guy, football guy. And I feel like Drake is just going to be that. He's going to continue to take strides and improving himself. Same thing you see with Nick Bosa. What the hell can Nick Bosa do anything better? Well, he goes and he figures it out, right, in the offseason. Goes back home, gets with his family, and they probably fine-tune and critique certain things. And no one's talking about Drake just even being in that room. We still talk about Drake, right? I could be off tangent. Okay. No one's even talking about him being in that room, just being the fly on the wall, asking those questions that Trent Williams just said. And so that's important for this young kid. And I think he came in, remember this. The 49ers were struggling on the defensive line last year, so he probably got more work than what he should have gotten. 49ers have 0 issues in allowing a player to sit and redshirt a year. Yep. 0. And I think because of, Armstead getting hurt and a lot of things, just a lot of issues with the defensive line and the front and the rotation, they had to throw him in the fire. But once they had a solidified group, they decided to say, hey, you know what? Let's put this kid on ice and he'll come back next season and let's see what he can do to get better. And I think that's what Drake is doing. He comes from a great pedigree, and I think he's going to be just fine opposite Nick Bosa. And I already said, John, he's starting. He's going to be the starting defensive end. There's nobody on that team right now that's going to start over Drake Jackson unless there's an injury.
And it's similar to what we saw last year with the offensive line, right? Because you had these stalwarts.
Bingo.
And you put in these young second-year players like Aaron Banks. Aaron Banks and Drake Jackson are the same guys, just on opposite things. Second-round picks, high potential. Didn't do a lot their first year, the rookie year, but the Niners kind of bring that in. Now, I love this. Wood Gravy, awesome tag, by the way. He says, I think part of Drake getting shut down was a need for more interior defensive line, because in the past, the Niners would have 6 active edge guys and 5 active defensive tackles. They switched that halfway through the year. What are they going to do this year, Wayne?
Interesting, because they added Hargrave, right?
Right.
And so now you bolster up your front interior, And I think you go more edge this year. It's a gamble. But I think the Niners are great at supplementing or going out and finding pieces to fit the interior. And I know we struggled last year in the interior. It's so weird,
Not this
right?
year. Not
I
this
don't
year.
think we're going to have that problem this year. And there's still free agents out there that are available. God forbid something happens or goes south for the Niners. There's guys that they could pick up.
Yep.
And so I think they go more edge this year. I think they're trying to create more of a pass rush with the ability from these other guys. Look, the secondary to me is better, and I think the front is better, and our linebackers are still top notch. I know he lost Azeez Al-Shaair, but I still think your two linebackers, you're up. You can say you upgraded at the nickel because Jimmy Ward really wasn't a nickel, and now you're putting in a real nickel. So you might say you upgraded. Again, it's unknown. We haven't seen it work in the 49ers system. So I actually like what's going on. But I'm telling you, this pass rush is going to be a little different this year. You don't have too many tweeners, guys like maybe Kerry Hyder will be an inside-outside guy, but you don't have too many of those guys like you did last year. I mean, Charles Omenihu had to do it all last year. Kerry Hyder had to do it all last year. And I thought that took away from their pass rushing ability, even though I liked Omenihu better inside.
Yeah. Hey, I'm with you there. Now, we got some awesome super chats. What's up, Jax?
Hey, Jax.
17-0, and don't disagree with me, period. Consistent, Jax. Appreciate the super chat, as always, and the positive energy. 17-0 would be wonderful. Niners never done it. Only one regular season undefeated. I guess two, the Dolphins and then the Patriots. Dolphins went 12-0, and then the Patriots lost it all.
Yeah.
Look at Wallner. What's up, man? Wallner, my old buddy from teaching. He says, John, what is behind your board? It's a bunch of boxes.
I'm mad he can see that behind the board. Interesting.
Bunch of boxes.
You got some good eyes.
Yeah. Well, we were supposed to be unloaded and unpacked, but we spent all our energy, carrying boxes instead of unpacking. But that's okay. Good problems to have. Scott Hill, you brought him up earlier. Thanks for the super chat. John, I was born and raised in Richmond. What's up, man? Right next to where I'm at. Great stuff, John and Wayne. Love it, man. Scott's always such a good dude.
The only thing I remember about Richmond was Coach Carter.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
That was a great movie.
That was legit. Dancing, just to wrap up our Drake conversation, she always brings the stuff. I love it. She says, I think the way they want to see Drake perform better against the run to earn that starting spot, they always say you got to earn the right to rush the passer. I love it. You got to earn it.
Got to earn it.
You
definitely got to earn it.
Gap integrity. That's what he needs. Because he likes to do that spin move and all that stuff. And sometimes you just got to do your gap. You got to stay in your lane.
You guys gotta understand, and I don't want you to cut him any slack. I love the constructive criticism, but you guys gotta understand where he came from and what he was asked to do. Yeah. I think Drake was asked to do 900 things. His weight was up and down. He was acrobatic. He was big. He was tiny. I was like, what type of edge rusher do you want for the Trojans? I thought Drake was just poorly coached. He gets into a system. You get him under Chris Kosaric, and I don't give what anybody says. I thought the kid was going to show promise. I mean, he has just this innate ability for the football. I think that's something you can't teach. And now it's time to get him into understanding the gaps, assignments, and things like that. What are you supposed to do? You're out there on the edge. You got to set the edge. You got to contain. You got to do these things. You got to be good against the run. I really think they're hoping Drake Jackson pans out to be better than what D Ford was in his prime.
Right. I like that. Peachy, what's up, Peachy Brown?
Hey.
He says, join John, Breezy, and the rest of the crew for some pregame fun this season. 49ers RushRoadTrip.com. Man, we got lots of trips planned. It's going to be incredible. I spent a lot of day yesterday. Just the first thing I unpacked, Wayne, was all my jerseys and all my Niners stuff. Not practical whatsoever. I just wanted to see it, so I took it. I currently have 45 jerseys autographed.
Ooh,
for giveaways for these.
We're gonna have a good time. This is gonna be great. Listen, Peachy's right on time with that. And John, why don't you tell everybody about the road trips and how they can be down with the 49ers Rush crew?
Man, we're going all out. Once they announce the training camp schedule, the public practices, I'll be at the majority of those, if not all of them. So that'd be a fun way just to come hang out, say what's up. But you got to go to 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Okay. The 5 road trips that we have currently planned, so pumped about these just because we're going to be everywhere, man. We've got week 1, we're going to Pittsburgh. We've already sold a ridiculous amount of tickets there, which I'm really excited about. We're going to have to probably expand our party a little bit there, but that's going to be awesome. We got the home game at Dallas, David Wallner. You need to come out, see what a championship football team looks like. At Minnesota, at Jacksonville, at Seattle, at Arizona. We got all kinds of stuff. So going to be at a lot of home games as well. I'll be at almost every single home game tailgating out in Blue Lot number 1, baby.
I'm trying to get one of my best friends to join me in California this year for the Dallas game, but the way his heart is set up, he's not going to do it. And I don't mean bad health. He's just he talks he talks trash, but I know he understands that his team ain't never beaten the 49ers again. Period. I'll leave it at that.
Not with that coaching, man. You can't have a good coaching staff that the 49ers have and probably one of the worst coaching staffs in Mike McCarthy. Like, come on, man. It ain't happening. And look at Jack. She says she's ready. I got my gear.
I got my new gear, John. We got to get some new gear. We will be rocking our starter coats wintertime, so get ready, y'all.
It's winter here already, buddy. What's up, RTP? Says we're invading Pittsburgh. That is a top 5 for me. I've never been to that stadium, and so really, really excited about that. Look at Noe. He says the road trip was so fun. Went 2 years ago in LA. Won an Elijah Mitchell jersey too.
Nice.
I like it, man. Appreciate that. Oh, here we go. Sin, I'm going to the Dallas game. It's personal.
Always personal, Miss Sin. Always. Always personal.
And we got Coach, the Rush road crew guy himself. There's going to be a different kind of towel waved in Pittsburgh. That's right. We're working on getting some towels made, some 49ers Rush road trip towels we'll be giving out at our event. I got to put that order in now that I have an address to ship them to. Otherwise, Vicky's going to kill me. She runs everything. All right. Let's get into these quarterback rankings, okay? So if you have missed our previous episodes, you can go back through Wayne's channel, which we have it listed right here in the top of the description of this audio or video, however you're watching. We've gone through almost every single position. We've got 3 left. We're now to quarterbacks. Real quick, Mosquito Killer, what's up? John, we'll be seeing you at the Dallas game. Got my tailgate ticket. That's what's up, man. And I think the picture that you have of you and your dad, that was the Atlanta Rush road trip, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Still mad about the way that game turned out, but the trip was beautiful. Like the road trip was powerful.
It was awesome.
Even the after party was good.
We did. You had to drink sorrows away. Sometimes that's what you got to do. So we're going to go through each team's room. We'll start there. Their entire quarterback room. Some teams have 3 quarterbacks. Some have 5. We have 4. We're going to just kind of lay out each team's depth chart. Then we're going to go back through and we're going to need your help. We're going to rank them 1 to 4. Now, understand, this is not the best quarterback. This is the best quarterback room, which is very, very important. Because if you look at the NFC West last year, they only have 4 teams. I think it was 13 quarterbacks started games for the NFC West last year. Injuries happened as much as ever. So here we go. Let's start off with Arizona, which, man, already got an asterisk next to it. Yeah, they got 5 quarterbacks. Kyler Murray, is he going to play at all? Not going to play early.
And this could be why they have 5, right? I didn't even think about that, but this could be the reason why they have 5. You were talking about Kyler Murray and then the fact that he's injured and he's not going to be playing at the beginning of the season. Will he play at all this season? That's the big question mark. And so they have another 4 on the roster. So this is going to be interesting to go through.
Yeah, so probably their week 1 starter, Colt McCoy. We played against him back-to-back years now. Colt McCoy torched us in 2021. And then in 2022, Mexico City, man, they beat the tar out of that man.
Which they should have.
They should have. Now, after that, they've got some decent backups. I actually like their depth. David Blau, he's got some NFL starts. Jeff Driscoll, former 49ers legend, and Clayton Tune that they got in the 5th round. I actually like Clayton Tune quite a bit. I think I had a 3rd-round grade on him. So you've got some capable quarterbacks there, but nobody that scares you by any stretch.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, right now I'm looking at the roster. I'm saying Colt McCoy would be the starter due to the injury of Kyler Murray, but their backups, Clayton Tune, he's a rookie, David Blau and Jeff Driscoll, the good old veteran. I mean, they got some guys, and I don't. One of those guys is going to end up on the practice squad somewhere. But I think if Kyler Murray was available, and I'm pending all the injuries and things like that. Like this is, if Kyler Murray is available, they have a pretty decent quarterback's room. I think Colt McCoy serves as a good backup quarterback in the NFL, and then you go to your rookies like Clayton Tune and David Blau and the other veteran and Jeff Driscoll. So I think their quarterback room is decent. I don't want to say it's solid, but if Kyler Murray was here, I think this would be a solid room. We'd have a different conversation.
There we go. Yeah, I'm with you. What's up, Corey Peters from Facebook? I like it. East Coast Niners fan here from Pennsylvania. First time catching you on live. Go Niners. Welcome, man. Very happy
Corey.
to have you. You got not 1, but 2 Niners games in your state this year. Hopefully you take advantage of that. That is awesome. All right, let's transition to the Rams now. The Rams, they're weird. Matt Stafford, the injury last year, they kept saying not an issue, not an issue, not an issue. They shut him down basically after the first month of the year. Seems like he's back. Now they go out and they draft Stetson Bennett in the 4th round. They have Brett Rippon, Braxton Burmeister, and Dresser Wynn. Yes, those are real human beings, not made up names, even though they do sound made up. But yeah, so that's their room. So another 5-team quarterback room. What do you think of these Rams? What comes to mind whenever I went through that?
So what I'm thinking is it's going to happen is they're going to trade Matthew Stafford. I think that's what I'm getting. They got these quarterbacks in there. If Stetson Bennett has a great camp, I can see him overtaking Brett Rippon and all the other guys that I don't know their names. So like if they don't get a chance to move on from like a Matthew Stafford, which it doesn't make sense to trade, but I don't know. He might not even be healthy, even though he's listed as healthy as of right now. But I think this is why they have 5 too. I think Stafford's the question mark. Clearly, again, if he's the starting quarterback, he's good. Like he's a good quarterback. Like in the NFL.
I think he's the best quarterback in the division.
If healthy.
If healthy. That's a big if.
It's tough for me because I don't know, something about Kyler Murray I like. Right. But I get it. He would be the best quarterback with the Super Bowl experience.
He's got the Super Bowl experience. He's 35. Okay, so that's an issue. He's had injuries and battled through it. He's tough as hell.
He is tough.
I'm not trying to diminish. Here's what's crazy. I remember watching him play in the state championship baseball game he pitched in Texas.
He's tough, though.
He's tough.
Listen, you're tough when you spend the majority of your career and tenure in Detroit and never win anything, and then they take away one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. I mean, Matthew Stafford will probably be in the category of a Joe Montana minus the Super Bowls, but as far as just being a good quarterback, he would be in that conversation had they just not effed up the team in Detroit. That's what they did. But he still remained decent, and for a short period of time, even our head coach was courting Matthew Stafford, and then I think that's why Kyle Shanahan beats Sean McVay's ass so much, just because, it's like a little payback, like, oh, you took my guy? All right, cool, no problem. It's going to whip that tail every time I see you, except for that one game, just one game, where we still could have won.
Now, you brought up trading Matthew Stafford, and there's been rumors that they shopped him. If they traded Matthew Stafford, they'd save $1.5 million this year, but a $55.5 million dead cap hit next year.
Dang!
So you're going to trade him away and pay him $55 million next year?
Nah, they're not doing that.
Listen to his cap hits, okay? So this year, $56 million. Next year, $49.5. 2025, $50.5 million. 2026, $49.5 million. He's going to be 38 that year. I don't see any team trading for this contract.
No.
I just do not see it.
No, I mean, this is one of those things the Rams just got them. They dug a hole. But look, they won a Super Bowl. They went all in.
Yeah.
They got a Super Bowl. Will they win it ever again? Probably not. Not with that contract. How are they going to pay the rest of their players? Interesting.
There's a reason why they let everybody go.
There is.
Everybody go.
Pay attention to what's going on. But at the end of the day, like, if Matthew Stafford is healthy, he still poses a problem on the football field. He has the cognitive ability. He has the skill set. He's the physical quarterback. All right. If he's healthy, he's still, a potential warning on the football field. So you got to account for him.
Right. And so that's the thing. Now, I love the comment. I'm not the biggest Stetson Bennett guy.
I like Stetson Bennett. What is wrong with y'all? Like, what did he do that pissed everybody off?
He didn't go to class. That's one thing he didn't do.
None of us went to class.
Years.
What are we talking
he didn't
about?
Graduate in 8 years at Georgia. Come on, man.
But still, nobody went to class. Listen, let me name okay. I want to raise of hands if you went to class in college. I mean, I went, but I'm just saying there was times where the way my sleep account was set up, I just couldn't get out the bed. I'm just saying.
The Athletic podcast, which I probably should be doing this, but it's awesome. They just released the Playmakers episodes.
Oh, nice.
Which is it's 5-episode series over Kyle Shanahan, McVay, all the coaches that were together at Washington when they were together. It was awesome. Everybody's like right here. I went to class, but it's awesome. Kyle Shanahan tells the story whenever he was at I think it was Duke or Texas. I don't remember which one it was. He was a wide receiver there. And so they had finals for the same day as practice. And so Kyle Shanahan went to practice. And they said, Kyle, what are you doing here? If you miss this final, you're going to fail that class. And Kyle Shanahan goes, I know. I made my choice. My future's in football. It's not in this degree.
So why are we having this conversation? Does class matter?
Yes.
It depends.
Yes, it matters.
Well, listen, the only reason why I would advocate anybody to go to class is because you pay for it. Like, at the end of the day, don't waste the money.
And I'll say this. I think the Niners, despite that story of Kyle Shanahan, they value academics, I think, probably more than any other football. Last year, I think it was 82 out of 91 players on the 90-man roster had some type of all-academic something in high school or college, honor roll, whatever. And so, I think they care about intelligence, but whatever.
Listen, college is a system. Everything in life is a system. Once you figure the system out, you'll be fine.
Look, these comments are hilarious.
Listen,
man.
I am a teacher, and at the end of the day, I tell my students, listen, college might not be for you. Are you going to be committed to go to class? Are you going to be committed to study on your own? Are you going to be committed to you got to commit yourself to them things.
Seymour Butt says, wasn't he arrested for drunk driving? Yes, he was.
Okay.
I
was never arrested for that. So
yeah. Right here, Judd says, I went to class once out of every 300 days. That's awesome.
I love this show.
The only class I went on. I love it. Detention only. Yeah, y'all supposed to be. Kali, I'm holding down the fort over here, man. Go to school, kids.
Wait. College and regular school is two different things. I did not say not go to high school, grade school, pre-K school. That's not what I'm saying. When you get to college, though, it's a little different. It's a little different. It's an investment, sort of.
Yeah, it's different. All right, so that's kind of the Rams thing, whatever. Let's go to the Seahawks. They only have 3 quarterbacks, by far the least. They bring back Geno Smith, who had a great year. Drew Lock is their backup. They seem kind of dead set on that 1-2 punch. And then Holton Ahlers, who's, again, that's a real human. Holton Ahlers. Not a lot of names there. They seem dead set on what they got.
Yeah, he's a rookie from East Carolina.
I like East Carolina. That means he played with Jordan
and Keaton Mitchell too, who's the kid that I wanted.
Yeah, there you go. So our undrafted free agent, is it Whitehead? Is that
Isaiah Winstead?
Winstead. There we go. So that was his quarterback. So there we go. Look at you, Wayne.
Hey man, I just I study a little bit just because it's not about going to class, it's about you picking up information and reading
He's
it on your
staying on
own.
this.
I can't help it because I want my money back, college. That's what I really want. All right, here we go. Look, I know Gino I will say this. He resurged himself back into football conversations. He revived his career in Seattle. Well, let's leave
100%.
it at that. I thought he was really efficient. And I think as a 49er fan, we like that word because that's what we got from Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what you're getting from Brock Purdy. You're getting high efficiency. What does that mean? What does that equate to on the football field? It's simply just moving the chains, getting first downs, like making things happen. And that's what you saw from Gino. And I think his supporting cast speaks volumes. And Seattle was our biggest competitor last year. And some may say they got better. I will say that they brought Geno back because they believed in him. They did draft a couple of guys that I think we're going to have to, figure out. I don't care if they're rookies. They can be problems on the football field. Remember, football is all about matchups. But back to Geno and the quarterback's room, Drew Lock, I think, is a pretty damn good. Well, he sucked in Denver.
So did Russell Wilson.
So maybe he's a better backup in Seattle.
Right. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. But you look at Geno, he was great. NFL Comeback Player of the Year. I think he's one of the first comeback players that came back not from an injury, but just from being bad. He didn't start a game all the way back till 2017 before he got in Seattle. But 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That's great.
It's great.
That's great.
And like you said, at some point, he was in the MVP conversation.
Right. Now, before we jump into that, because I want to approach the Geno conversation kind of in a different way.
Okay.
So let's hold off on that one. Let's talk about the Niners quarterback room. And then I want us to go through and kind of rank these quarterbacks one through
Understood.
whatever.
Got you.
So the 49ers, Brock Purdy, leader in the clubhouse, the phrase that we've heard so many times, Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, Brandon Allen. A lot of depth there, man. I would argue probably the best number 3 quarterback in the NFL, whether that's Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, whoever you talk to, that's okay. But that's a pretty damn good quarterback 3. I think Sam Darnold or Trey Lance would be number 2 or number 1 for several teams.
Yeah, I wrote an article about the 49ers having the best quarterbacks room in the NFL. And I felt like I don't feel like people didn't read it. And the reason why I said that is because when you look at the 49ers, they technically have 3 quarterbacks that can start. So they have 3 starting caliber quarterbacks: Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, and Trey Lance. Those guys can probably be starting quarterbacks for any other team. In fact, Sam Darnold actually started for a different team, and Trey Lance at one point started for the San Francisco 49ers. It was a small sample size due to injury, but he was the starter. And so when you look at that, that means that your depth is better, right? Because Sam Darnold, especially in this system, Sam Darnold, I think, will be a better reserved quarterback than he was as a starting quarterback due to the way he was set up in New York, due to the way he was set up in Carolina, which he started to show a little bit of promise in Carolina, but he still didn't have, did he ever play with Christian McCaffrey? Why do I get a hell no? But
no.
There it is. So
neither has Trey Lance.
Right. So let those things sink in for a small second before we start saying, oh man, this guy. I know what they've done, but they haven't done it here yet. And until they do it here, you really won't get any bad mouth from me. Like even Trey Lance, this kid has not played football yet, as far as I'm concerned. He won a game. He won 2 games and he lost 2 games, right? I think that's kind of like how it is. Where he won 2 games and lost 1 game. I can't remember how it is. I know he lost to the Cardinals. He beat Houston, and then he got the win. He lost to the Bears. Yeah, so he's 2-2. We agree? Lost to the Bears, and then he got the win for Seattle, even though he was injured in that game. So I think he's 2-2 as a quarterback for the 49ers. But at the end of the day, that ain't nothing. We still haven't seen him play football under this type of regime because I know a lot of people say he didn't have CMC. He also didn't have George Kittle week 1. And so things could just be because, and he lost his running back in the first half of that game. Things were just different. So I will say this. I think the quarterbacks room, 49ers, may have the best quarterbacks room in the NFL, not just the NFC West.
Oh, I like that. I like that. So here's what I want to do. I want to ask everybody to kind of think through this, and I want you to put your top 3 quarterbacks in this division. Okay. So again, if we're just looking at starters, you got Kyler Murray, Matt Stafford, Geno Smith, Brock Purdy in no order. Then you're looking at like first tier backups. You've got Colt McCoy, Stetson Bennett, Drew Lock, Trey Lance, Sam Darnold. Those are kind of the guys. So I'm curious to see what other people, how you would rank for 2023 only. We're not talking long term. This year only. Who are the quarterbacks that kind of stand out for you as the best for this year?
From our division, right?
So I'll tell you my order, and I'm curious to see what other people have to say. Yeah, Kevin right here with B&D Gaming Channel. He says Stafford's one. I got Stafford one as well. You got Kyler one.
I got Kyler Murray one. I do.
Yeah, I have Kyler too, but again, he's not healthy. I would say there's a better chance that Kyler doesn't play at all this year than playing more than 5 games.
I'm cool with that. So
again, there's no way he's playing the first half of the season no matter what.
Right. I'm just thinking overall at the quarterback position. But if you're just talking about who's going to probably be available, I mean, we don't even know Brock Purdy's status, even though we think we know Brock Purdy's status. So there's a possibility that he's not playing at the beginning of the season as well, right?
Right.
Now, yeah. I think I like Mosquito Killer's answers right here. I think Stafford, if healthy, Stafford going into the season is starting. I think he's healthy enough to start. The question marks come around Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray, and now you're going to enter guys like Colt McCoy, Trey Lance, or Sam Darnold, right? Because ESPN has Darnold as number 2 on the depth chart. Really weird to me.
Yeah, well, a lot of that comes from what's his name?
Yes, sir. I understand. And then and then who am I? And then Geno, right? And so for me, I feel like this is tough. This is a tough question. But
so here's my order. Okay, I went Stafford, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, Geno. Those were my 4 in that order. I had Purdy ahead of Geno.
So I'm flippy floppy with the first 2.
Look at this. Geno was Sam Darnold before last year. He was worse than Sam.
He was worse than Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
I'm Geno is last for me. Purdy would be 3rd. Actually, I'm flipping that. I apologize. It's Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford, Geno Smith.
Ooh, I like that list. And again, these are just opinions. Like we'll have to see how they play. Now, I dove into because Purdy and Geno were so close to me. And so I was like, you know what? Everybody kept talking about how Geno was in the MVP conversation, all those things. So I went and looked at his best 8 games. During his MVP stretch, he threw 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 3 lost fumbles, 1 rushing touchdown. Put that together, 14 touchdowns, 6 turnovers, pretty damn good. Brock Purdy on his only 8 games, not cherry picking, his only 8 games, 13 touchdown passes, 4 picks, 1 fumble lost, 2 rushing touchdowns. So he had 15 touchdowns, 5 turnovers. So 1 more touchdown, 1 fewer turnover. And that's close. During his only 8 games. So his stats now, his completion percentage is not near as high. But just the fact that if you take Geno at his best, and how old is Geno? He's really freaking old. How old is Geno? He's 30. He's about to be 33.
That's
10 years older.
Old.
Yeah, but for an NFL quarterback.
No. I feel like there's
Brock Purdy's 23.
Understood.
He's 33.
I feel it's an age difference, but I feel like quarterbacks can play till the good ones can play till they like 40 if they train properly, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day,
my question is Geno going to get better?
He
got way worse second half of the season.
That's good. So let me explain this, right? I'm looking at Seattle. I'm saying to myself, what did Seattle do in the offseason, right? And I know what they did in the draft. Like that I have down to the science, right? They added in a slot guy that can also line up on the outside and could be a danger threat, right? We're talking about Njigba, right? And then they also added another running back to their core, right? Because they struggled with that.
Zach Charbonnet.
Charbonnet from UCLA. And so offensively, that's the only thing you worry about. They gave him a couple of other weapons. We already talked about how their tight ends are pretty much the safety nets for these quarterbacks, right? I think their offensive line, they may struggle a little bit, but they got pass catchers out of the backfield. They got weapons that they can get the ball to in space. I mean, you might see Yak opposed to them just throwing the ball down the field. And why would they throw the ball down the field when they have a high efficient guy and Geno Smith? Now they're going to look to get them underneath yards, just like some team that I know that they're going to copycat because they couldn't beat us. I'm telling you, like you gotta. We don't know if this is gonna, translate out on the football field, but this is to me how the Seattle Seahawks are trying to set up. So this, my friend, can actually help Geno get better. Because remember, Tyler Lockett got injured last year at some point, and it was weird, right? And so then you knew they were going to Metcalf, and then they didn't have another really guy. They didn't really have another guy, right? They had some guys that would step up from time. Then Kenneth Walker wasn't as consistent as a running back. They didn't have any other running backs. They stayed hurt. I think Carson was out for the year, whatever his name was. But at the end of the day, they added. So this can help him be better. It's no different than saying, look what our team has and look who our quarterbacks are, right? Brock Purdy, same thing.
But we have 10 years of film on Geno. 10 years.
But if he's just dumping the ball off and getting it to a playmaker,
right?
That's the. I mean, how much film can you watch to stop a guy from making a play on you?
Yeah, I think my biggest issue was I remember going into the draft. The one thing I didn't want to happen was the Seahawks to draft Anthony Richardson. I was terrified of it.
I remember that. I remember saying that.
Just because the big arm and the athletic ability, like Geno does not scare me. Look at Juan Solis. No, what's up, brother?
For sure.
Stafford, Purdy, Geno. And I'm not like I have Geno fourth, and I've got him almost neck and neck with Purdy. But my thing is this: how do you beat the 49ers defense? You got to throw the ball deep. You got to have an athletic quarterback. Geno's all right, borderline athletic. And yeah, his efficiency numbers on the deep ball were high. He hit the DK Metcalf touchdown, the only touchdown against Demo all year. But I'm sorry, that Geno Smith was terrible whenever he played against quality teams all year. And I don't know, what good teams did he beat? What good defenses did he beat? He didn't beat us 3 times.
Yeah, but like I mean, you're looking. All right, so I see Kylie's comment, and I'm glad he agrees with you. One good season from Geno. Now he's Warren Moon. Well, fuck. I mean, Brock Purdy might not do shit next season. Like you could say the same thing.
True. Very true.
So at the end of the day, you go off of what they did, and you're hoping that you add so that they get better. Just like I'm hoping Brock Purdy is better. Now they're gonna have film on him. Now that they know he's an efficient guy, they know he's trying to get the ball out of his hand quick. So what can he do to be better coming off of this crazy ass injury? So at the end of the day, like, I'm not advocating for Geno. You asked me how can he get better. Well, I gave you 2 reasons. They added another running back, and they got him a freaking guy that can do damage with the football in his hand.
There we go. It seems like I'm lower on Purdy. You and I are lower on Purdy than everybody else. A lot of people are having Purdy 1 or 2.
I don't think they really watch Matthew Stafford play football.
Yeah.
I don't think they go back to the season that they won the Super Bowl because nobody likes the Rams. And then I don't think they pay attention to like his tenure in Detroit. Like the dude is a legit top quarterback in the league when healthy. He's good. He's not like. It's kind of like in that Brett Favre realm, if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's got a rocket, man. He's got a cannon. Like Kali says, and this I think Kali said it better than I did. Geno has a track record of being horrible. Purdy is an unknown. That's the thing. If I look at Geno Smith, I've got 8 years of terrible quarterback play. Not good, terrible.
But then give me context with that. Who the fuck did he play for?
I mean, the Jets were coming off of
they sucked.
The NFC Championship.
Jets terrible, always will be terrible.
AFC Championship.
Yeah, keep going.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah. You could talk about some bad teams there for sure. Yeah,
and it's the same thing for then you could compare him to Sam Darnold because we're hoping Sam Darnold turns a leaf now that he's in San Francisco with a better team. Geno went to a better team, well more matured. He matured up and he learned how to play football. He got through the worst part of his career, which he should have been out of the league.
Yeah.
But luckily, he went to Seattle. And he's not out of the league. Now he's got a 3-year extension, 3-year deal. Look,
yeah.
I'm not saying Geno is going to be the man. I still got him 4th on the list. But, and I'm not even saying, I'm with you, John. I agree with you. He doesn't scare me. We just got to make sure, we bring him down and just keep him on his toes. Just keep Geno on his toes. Make him make the throw. You know what I'm saying?
He'll get a win against the Niners eventually. I mean, the team's too good and it's rivals and all. You say no.
I'm not.
But I'm just saying this. Like, I was happy they signed him. I was happy they didn't draft another quarterback. The whole time I was like, man, please don't draft a quarterback. Please don't. And they did it. And I was like, nice. So I don't know. We'll see. I like this approach, Debster.
And I'm with Debster on this.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this season to me is going to be should be harder on Brock Purdy than it is for Trey Lance. I know that doesn't make sense, but I feel like for me, if Brock Purdy goes out there and loses week 1, I'm having a field day. I just don't expect him to lose. He hasn't lost a regular season game.
I'll say this. My nightmare situation is the 49ers don't figure out their quarterback situation this year.
I don't think they do. But I don't think they do. There's a small possibility that Brock Purdy regresses, right? I'm just looking at all the scenarios and I'm playing every factor. Right. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying that it can happen. And there's a possibility that Trey Lance progresses. Then there's a possibility where guys get injured and then you're just going to need one of these guys to step up. And I feel like when you talked about Sam Darnold, you said we had the best third-string quarterback, which we do. Even if Trey Lance is the third-string quarterback and I go through the other team's third-string quarterbacks, he's better than the other third-string quarterbacks. So at the end of the day,
I think Sam Darnold's the best second-string quarterback. I take Sam Darnold over Drew Lock.
See what I'm saying? Like, you got to look at the room. Like, we're looking at the room, not just the quarterback per quarterback. We're looking at the whole room. And if God forbid, which it should never, ever, 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 ever happen again, the 49ers lose 3 more quarterbacks in the same season, then I think we seriously have to question strength and training, coaching, play calling. Something got to be questioned. But if that ever happens, I feel like the 49ers have bolstered up the room with better talent. That's what I'm trying to say.
I like it. So here we go. Let's get to it. All right, Wayne, I want to hear your quarterback room rankings. Oh, real quick. Jack, what's up? Super chat for Jax. John, I disagree. Geno will lose because we're 17-0. I said eventually. I didn't say this year.
He did add the word eventually, Jax. He did say eventually. I shut that down, though.
Rivalry games are hard.
They are, but I just don't feel like Geno's going to be able to overcome the monster of the Niners defense.
All right, so let's see here. We're going quarterback rooms 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start at 4. What is the worst quarterback room in this division? Which team has the worst?
This is tough.
It's hard. There's not a bad room.
I would say the Rams have the worst. I know.
Whoa. This is all right. We've agreed on every position. We're way off here. We are way off
because
here.
Look, it's Matthew Stafford and then who?
Stetson Bennett.
All right, it's Geno Smith and then Drew Lock, right? It's
again, you said Stafford was the number 1 quarterback.
Yeah,
so
but you said the room. Like, only because
I'm trying to understand.
Only because the room. God forbid if Stafford goes down, they should go 0 and whatever if he goes down week 1. There's no way they should win a game with the quarterbacks that they have in their room. Whereas I look at Arizona's room. I already know Colt McCoy's starting, but God forbid he gets you a couple of wins.
That's why I have them last.
And I understand, but if Kyler Murray comes back, they're better.
Okay. So 2.
So I got Rams last Arizona 3. I got Seattle 2 and the Niners 1.
Okay. So we're close. My 4, I got 49ers 1, Rams 2, just because Stafford, that's assuming he's healthy, but he's throwing, everything seems normal. So I got Niners, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals. So we just disagree on the Rams.
Yeah, and I like your argument, right? I mean, Stafford does bolster up everything, but you already talked about him aging. You already talked about this injury that he's dealing with. You talked about a lot of things. Now he does have a decent supporting cast out there. I still don't think they run the ball very well. I still means that he's going to be gunslinging and throwing the ball way too much, which is going to leave him open to more injury. So yeah, starting this season, Stafford is that number one guy. Ending the season, I don't think he's the best quarterback in that division. And even if Kyler Murray doesn't play this team, and there's a possibility that he might play.
Right. Look at this Niner Sickness podcast. Go check it out if you haven't yet.
Man
haunts me. This is why I don't sleep at night. Brock Purdy or Trey Lance better impress Kyle this season. I do not want to see Kirk Cousins in a Niners uniform. There's just certain people I don't believe in. Not that he doesn't exist or that he isn't real. I do not want to root for Kirk Cousins.
Ever.
That's Blaine Gabbert 2.0, man, in my opinion. Now, I get that Cousins way better, but not as far as like winning games. It's not. He's stats only. He's cheesy as hell. He's not a good person. I just don't like that dude. I just don't want to root for that guy. Will I? Team first? Man, I really don't want that dude on this team. I really don't.
I think Mark asks a really good question. He says, how can we be number one if we don't know who the quarterback is going to be? We have an unknown starter, but we have 3 starting quarterbacks.
So again, back to, I love this question, Mark. Like, I have Stafford number 1, right? But I don't have, I mean, I've got Purdy number 3. I've got Trey number 5. I've got Darnold number 6 overall rankings over the whole entire thing. Mm-hmm. So the Niners have 3 top 6 quarterbacks in my rankings of this division. Again, what would you rather have? Would you rather have Stafford and all that mess, or would you rather have the 49ers 3 young options? For what we have, I'd rather take our mess. Because, again, a lot of it's just Brock Purdy. If Brock Purdy's the floor of the quarterback that we're getting, and that doesn't even mention the contract, dude's getting $55 million against the cap, Stafford is.
Right.
Like, so that figures into the equation too.
Yeah, I think for me, Mark, I think I kind of look at it the same way. Like, I assess it the same way John does. And so I'm looking at it as if, well, the 49ers technically have 3 quarterbacks that can actually start. You can say that Seattle has 2 because Drew Lock was a starter at some point in his career. And then it's just Matthew Stafford. And then it's just Colt McCoy. And if, my man Kyler Murray comes back. But other than that, their room is blah, right? So I'm looking at the whole room. And the way John did his ranking, it just makes sense. I feel like Trey Lance has won games with the 49ers. The only quarterback that hasn't won any games, the Niners, is Sam Darnold. And there's no way he can't win a game with this team. Like, there's just no way. So I feel like that is even going to be better because now Sam Darnold's also going to get to play with the weapons and things like that. So overall, as a room, I know people probably think I'm being a homer, but I'm not. I think my logic is we got 3 quarterback ones.
Yeah. Debster, what's up? She says, do the 49ers really have bad quarterback luck? Been this way before, Kyle and John. There were over 70 starters at the quarterback position last year in the NFL. There's only 32 teams. Do the Niners have worse luck than most teams? Sure. And you could dive into that, the boots and the play actions and all that stuff. But just the NFC West, if we just look at that, I think there was 13 quarterback starters on 4 teams. And Geno started every game. So really, you're talking 12 quarterback starters on 3 teams. So the Rams, Cardinals, and 49ers all went through 4 quarterbacks. So, whenever you add that context to it, it doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean things shouldn't change. Doesn't mean any of those things. But, yeah, a lot of quarterbacks. We've had 1 quarterback last the season in the past decade. That was Jimmy Garoppolo in 2019. We went to the Super Bowl. So
yeah, interesting, though. And to me, John, this is a great episode because I like the pushback from people not picking the 49ers as the best quarterbacks room. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And if you want to read the article, it's on 49erswebzone.com. So it's out there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I just look at who the Niners have compared to everybody else. And then though I think Matthew Stafford is still the best quarterback in this division, you know what I'm saying? I still feel like the 49ers have more power at that position. Like, I just feel like they have more power at the position.
Yeah, I like that. Look at this from Kevin. He says, John, in your opinion, if Cousins is the quarterback in 2019 over Jimmy, does that team win the title? Hell no. I was there. The lights were on. When the lights are on, Kirk Cousins pisses down his own leg every single time. So God, no.
He just doesn't play well.
No.
Under the big lights.
No.
Which is weird.
Kirk Cousins is expired 3-week-old skim milk. I don't know what else to say, man. That's just the way I feel about him. The way I can't stand that man. He's by far one of my least favorite people in the NFL. I just can't stand him. I hate the way he plays. I hate the way he treats teammates. I hate the way he treats coaches. I hate the way I can't stand him. Kyle loves him, and that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, no, just hardcore no for there. Just now, if he's on our team, we'll see. But yeah, Salty, I'm with you. What's up, Salty? Please, God, no Kirk Cousins talk. I don't like it, man. Nope.
So let's ask the question, because I like Debster's comment. She says, I think we need to wait. We need to let the quarterback room marinate.
Ooh.
Before saying
let
our
it
quarterback
marinate.
room before our quarterback room is good. All right. And I could dig this. I think this is fair, right? But here's the thing, like, I felt like we kind of did this, but let's go with the starting quarterbacks. Let's just go with the starting quarterbacks. All the starting quarterbacks, bearing all injuries. Let's rank those 4 quarterbacks. You ready?
Yeah.
I got Stafford. I got Stafford. Well, you got Stafford 1. I got Kyler Murray 1.
Right.
I got Stafford 2.
Yep.
I got Brock Purdy 3.
Yep.
I got Geno Smith 4.
There you go. So we'd be 3rd.
I hope that helps.
Kyler ain't playing.
Right. There you go.
Kyler ain't playing.
So that bumps up Purdy.
Now he's 2.
See? Because if you tell me you'll take Colt McCoy over Brock Purdy, and this goes for anybody, I have to question your football pedigree. Like, I have to really question it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where it is. Then so we did it for the rooms, and I know we haven't seen Sam Darnold take a snap with the Niners. So then let's go with the 2s. Let's go with 1 and 2s. We could do this so many different ways.
Yep.
So even if we go with Brock Purdy and Trey Lance, would you take that over Matthew Stafford? And so now this is what makes it interesting. See, Matthew Stafford and Brett Rippon.
Yep.
Would you take Brock Purdy and Trey Lance over? Would you take Brock Purdy and Trey Lance over Geno Smith and Drew Lock?
Yes.
Would you take Brock Purdy over Colt McCoy and Clayton Tune?
Yes.
Doesn't that mean our room is better?
Why are you coming at this with logic, Wayne? Don't you know that's not
no,
how you
I'm
get
trying to
business?
answer. I'm trying to get the people to see the relativity that we're using to make.
Oh, I think you nailed it, man. I think you nailed it.
That's all.
And I'm with you.
That's all.
It's okay to disagree. That's okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Our evaluation on these players could be off. I know some people think Geno's a top 5 quarterback, and to them, let me know how that's going to work out for you. Let me know. Look at Uncle Salty. John Wayne, do either of you have any updates on Purdy? I know he got engaged.
Yeah, he's getting married at some point in his life.
Props to you, man.
Yeah. Does she play volleyball, I believe? I think
she did, yeah, at their Iowa State. So, yeah, they go way back. So
congratulations to Brock Purdy.
Congratulations to you. You could be as miserable as the rest of us. Love you, wife.
Enjoy the first. Enjoy, man. Just gotta leave it at enjoy.
There you go. That's right. But happy for it, man. This has been a fun show, Wade. I am happy because I'm back doing what I love, which is not unpacking boxes, but talking 49ers football with some of the best people on the planet. So thank you guys in the chat. And Wayne, do you want to take us out of here, man?
Guys, listen, we'll be back Friday on both channels again. So make sure Friday is a different timing. All right. So it's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Whoa. Are we doing wide receivers or running backs? Which one? You got to pick.
We're doing running backs, baby. That's my position. All right. So we're doing running backs. Ooh, it's going to be fun. I dare somebody to say that the Niners don't have the best running back squad. I double dog dare you. Stick your tongue on the ice cold pole. Triple dog dare you. I dare you. Anyway, guys, we'll be back Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I have no idea Mountain Time and Central Time. I don't know those. But you matter. I want you to know that. Stay strong, faithful. Peace.